I'm going to get Caleb to show you how we diagnosed this Honda CR-V and other Honda models out there. This may be helpful to you guys. That the AC condenser here was beat in a previous video. This is the AC compressor. And then this is the thermostat housing, because it had a coolant leak. You'll see that we had to saw it up and cut it off because the bolts were so rotted away that you couldn't get it off. And there's 6, 3 for this and 3 for the other. Well, guess what was the same on the other side? So we wound up sawing and prying that off. And then the coolant tube that goes to the housing was rotted out too. So this was just unforeseen stuff that we didn't really want to have to do. So I'm going to get you to show them how to diagnose the climate control.
Okay. So I'm not going to do it now considering we're running and I don't want to throw anything off. Okay.
Shut it off. Show them how to...
So you have to make sure...
But hold on, tell them from the beginning that this doesn't diagnose the whole entire AC system.
No, this
only has a handful of things that it looks at to help narrow down what's going on. And after we did this, we said, okay, well, this is how much information that this is checking and saying this output's good, this input's good, this is bad. And our problem was actually still outside of the car, even though the compressor would come on, jumping the relay, and Caleb will tell you all about that, and then we'll tell you what the problem was in the end, along with the rotted out condenser and thermostat.
So anytime we have an issue with a compressor not turning on, come into the fuse box, relay box, whatever you want to call it, and first thing I do is try to jump the relay. So right here, that's for the AC. Right here, I jumped this relay, compressor was cycling on. Now what we ended up learning is that that was just bypassing the high pressure cutoff switch. There was an open...
Say, hey, how we figured out what was going on. We still had to do manual checks, but this is the thermo sensor that had an open in it.
Yeah, there was an open in the thermo sensor. So by jumping this, it just bypassed our thermo sensor, which is why the compressor was coming on. So realistically, we could have just replaced the thermo sensor. However, the customer wanted to make sure they had their bases covered, not spend extra money on just the thermo sensor, because that's not a permanent fix necessarily, because this compressor does have however many miles on it. This car has 210,000 miles on it, so we're not sure what the state of the compressor actually is. We put this in, the compressor goes bad a week later, he still needs a compressor. So we put a whole new unit in for him. So the way we figured out the climate controller wasn't bad was you have to have everything. This has to be off. Climate controller set all the way to cold. I like to just put this in neutral, make my life easier so I have a little more room. Hit recirc. Turn the key off. Key on. Press and hold recirc. And then press this 5 times. That starts flashing. And then it'll go through certain modes, and if the recirc starts flashing, then it'll flash a certain number of times to tell you exactly what's wrong. And there is a chart that goes along with that. I'm gonna pull that up. I took a picture of it. So right here, that's a chart that shows you exactly what would be wrong based off of how many blinks you get, and then that's everything that that's testing with the actual unit. So I'm bleeding the cooling system on this right now because we did some coolant stuff on it. So we're gonna make sure that the AC's off while we're bleeding this. Go through the system. Now that we're fully charged, new compressor, new condenser, because the old one was completely rotted out at the bottom. All of these fins were gone entirely, and she's running ice cold. Thanks for watching.